Hello, everybody, and welcome back to MCU ME. I'm joined, as always, by my friend Eric here. I'm Keaton from The Buzz, by the way. I mean, that's the channel you're watching this on. Today we're talking about Captain Marvel. Obviously, that's the title of the video or podcast. One thing to preface, though, is that we're actually recording this very close to the actual release of the movie, so it's currently March 10th. I just watched the movie this morning, and Eric, you've seen it
I've seen it twice.
Seen it twice.
Opening day and yesterday.
Okay. All right, cool. So, you just like the movie a lot, I guess. That's kind of the...
Okay, so what are your general thoughts?
General thoughts?
Yeah, you go first.
To start, do we want to do it a one-sentence review for this one?
Oh, yeah.
We got to think into the future. Hopefully we're still doing these. Amnesiac.
Memento and RoboCop.
Memento and RoboCop? Is that... RoboCop is not... I haven't watched RoboCop. Is that a... Eric just gave me a fucking look. I have not seen RoboCop. Is that a... I guess it's kind of a similar plot. Except RoboCop doesn't have amnesia. Yeah, let's go with that.
Well, as far as using her. Actually, that's a bad... Yeah, never mind. Retract that.
The movie's been out for about a month, so spoilers, obviously, in advance.
Yeah.
So just thoughts. I mean... general thoughts, I really liked it a lot. I just watched Thor as well, for the most part, before recording this one, and Captain Marvel's, like, for example, for comparison's sake, it's a much better movie than, like, Thor. Like, that's not too big of a, like, compliment, but, like, it's a good movie. Like, it's a good Marvel movie. Generally, I think, people were expecting a lot of Endgame tie-in for this, which, of course, there is. And a lot of MCU tie-in in general, like more than I was expecting. But they generally at least kept that kind of towards the end so that the movie didn't rely on that, which I really liked. General thoughts for you?
I think it was okay. I thought it was good, not great, honestly, I'd put it... Okay, you know what?
You're sexist?
Stop, dude. I'm a misogynistic bigot. I hate women. No.
No, you gotta... That's a bit. It's a bit.
No, edit that out, please.
I'm not gonna do that.
I don't know. Because it was good. Clearly I enjoyed it more the second time, but there was nothing really too, I guess, nothing that stood out. For me, at least. I did like the story, though. I thought that was, it was refreshing. But I feel like, I think it's one of those, had a lot of potential. Mm-hmm. Didn't live up to what it could have done. At least for me.
Okay. Okay. That's fair.
I'd put it above Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
I'd put it above the Thor.
You were about to say the Dark Knight?
No, Thor, the Dark World.
Okay.
You know what? I put it probably... I consider it like a Doctor Strange. Probably.
I liked Doctor Strange a lot when it came out, too. It was like my favorite movie when it came out. It's still good.
Just like it's not Winter Soldier. You know what? It's mainly more of a fun movie, I guess. Because it is a good time. I think it's more of a good time than something with... Like, something that's more substance heavy, I guess.
What? You like movie doesn't have substance?
Like depth, I guess. Like too much depth. Because, okay,
Are you saying this movie doesn't have depth or it does have depth?
Not that much. Like it's more of a popcorn flick, I guess. Yeah, that's a better way of putting it, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's not like in the way that like Ragnarok is a fun film, I guess.
You think this is also a fun film?
Yeah, mainly. That's its strong point. It makes you feel good. There's a lot of feel good moments in it, but it's not as thematically heavy, I guess. Like the serious moments aren't like. There's maybe about two I'd say.
I like the serious parts. I
no,
mean,
me too. But I'm saying like they weren't very like.
You got so much louder now that I questioned you.
No. I'm just like I don't know. Like, I'll get more to specifics whenever.
Where do we start? Do you want to do a chronological?
Let's talk about the controversy, right?
Oh yeah, we could start with that. Okay, so controversy. A bunch of man babies are angry and think this movie is anti-men.
Pretty much.
And it's funny. It is really fucking funny.
Yeah, I just found out there was this thing going around called the Alita Challenge, where people were gonna boycott Captain Marvel and instead go see Alita Battle Angel since
over this weekend.
Yeah.
And I think that's really funny too, because I was looking at the box office for reference, because I kind of wanted to compare it to Black Panther, because I mean there was a lot of like that was kind of an unexpected hit. There was a lot of like political kind of stuff in the background that's not even like involved with the movie per se. And I think this movie, I was curious to see if that kind of political message and importance is carried over into Captain Marvel. And so right now, as of opening weekend, it has an estimated 153 million.
Yeah, it's
over the first weekend.
Yeah, it's already one of the biggest openings.
Yes, Black Panther did 200 million.
Yeah, it's already like by default not a flop, I think.
No, it's not. And despite all the man babies crying about boycotting,
no, because there was a lot of I'm guessing. I mean, of course, false rumors going around. Apparently, I kept seeing a bunch of like non-verified comic book news sites saying like rumor is Disney has 2 cuts of Endgame in case Captain Marvel flops. Rumor Captain Marvel Brie Larson doesn't get along with the Avengers cast. Endgame in trouble, or Marvel already preparing for Captain Marvel flop. Most of it. And to get to the source of it, so mainly all of this started because she pretty much said, hey, in the press tour and the junkets that people do, I want to include some more women, have some more diversity, more women of color, and not just, as it's always been, just a bunch of white dudes. And, a bunch of...
White dudes.
Yeah, a bunch of white dudes took it as...
anti-men.
Anti-men, anti-white men specifically. She's racist.
As opposed to it being pro-feminist.
Yeah, because... Of course, being pro-feminist means you have to hate men.
Yeah. So and there are some parts of the movie where people are like, even reviewers are calling like this movie anti-men, like shit, like where I guess the dickhead on the motorcycle, like where she like steals his motorcycle. No, like it's just funny.
I'll go more into depth about that later, but.
So basically, people are crybabies here in the moment, but
I mean, maybe I see some. Like, if I really wanted to play devil's advocate and see the other side, I guess maybe actually, no. Because, no, because I was thinking maybe they feel like
threatened
or
marginalized in the minority, despite the fact that, like, 90% of superheroes are white in the movies.
The same kind of douches that say, like, oh, I'm just saying, why isn't there also a National Men's Day?
There is, though.
International
Which is funny, because, like, somebody pointed out, like, it's in November.
Yeah, and not only that, but, hey, we arguably have it we have it a lot easier than women out here.
This is getting into some deep political territory.
But anyways, apart from that, yeah, like, okay, so going into specifics now, or unless there's anything you want to add.
So again, we are recording this about a month in advance of when this will come out, because this, just by the proxy of like how these will be released, it'll probably be pretty close to Endgame itself. Do you think this movie will have staying power of relevance over time? So, for example, a lot of people still refer back to Iron Man, despite not having seen it in a long time, as one of the best Marvel movies, even back from Phase 1. Do you think Captain Marvel will still be one people look back on and be like, yeah, Captain Marvel, that's my Marvel movie. Like, that's my favorite. I think plenty of people will probably say it's their favorite.
Okay.
I can't say for certain how, like, the staying power will be past, the month and Endgame.
Yeah.
I think it might be interesting,
especially after Endgame. So
Endgame's going to be interesting because not only is it going to be basically her direct sequel in almost a I just thought of a comparison in almost a Batman versus Superman type of way.
Yeah.
Where she gets her own solo movie, Man of Steel, and then later, in this case, later chronologically, in Superman's case, later years-wise, release-wise, how her follow-up is part of an ensemble cast. Yeah. So, like, not only is her growth as a character going to be kind of matched up with the other characters, so that's basically going to be your direct follow-up. This movie, I would have to think it gets a sequel at some point.
Oh, yeah, of course it would.
I'm not sure how that'll work. Probably entirely in space, maybe. Yeah. Like a prequel. Like, well, a sequel to this movie and then like a prequel to all the other stuff, like in the 90s or something like that, early 2000s. It's going to be interesting how this matches up.
I don't think it's like film-wise, I don't think it's as strong as Iron Man, so I don't know if it'll have the same relevancy, especially since now, like, there's so much more to choose from, I guess. You know, there's like, it's not, you know, the superhero bubble now is in full effect. Like, it wasn't as much back then, you know, so it's already kind of threatened by that, especially because, again, Endgame is, you know, who knows, you know, maybe I don't know.
There's a lot of people who say, one, the action is bad.
In Captain Marvel?
In Captain Marvel. And they also say that Brie Larson is bad.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, so now I guess...
And she's very bland. We can start with that, I guess.
Okay, so as far as the movie goes, I liked her.
Yeah, no.
I liked her a lot.
People said like she's just like a blank slate. And I'm like, no.
Nah.
No, they're like, she only cracks jokes in the beginning. Once she gets onto Earth, she seems...
that's not true.
Maybe by comparison Samuel Jackson... Like, yes, Samuel Jackson has more charisma than her. Yeah. But she's still cracking jokes the entire movie.
Yeah, she is. Like,
and it's like...
Even when one of the first things she says to him, like, congratulations, Agent Fury, you finally asked a relevant question. You know, like, I thought she was good. I find it funny, though, that, like, especially this one guy on one of those reporters on Twitter, his name's Jeremy Conrad or something. He was...
Doxed.
He was constantly defending it, like when people were complaining about her not smiling, saying that, well, it makes sense. She's under Kree control, so she's like a robot, like RoboCop. She's emotionless.
She's not, though.
Huh?
She's not in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. I find it funny that now, like, that wasn't even the case.
She's just serious. She's just cool. Like,
I found they had a surprising amount of like serious looking material in the trailers. Like, not much of her actually.
I feel like the marketing could have been better.
Yeah, no, it definitely because even now I can't.
Because they show the Rise moment in the trailer, like if had I not seen that in the trailer, I feel like it would have been a lot more impactful. It's super impactful in the movie still, the rise, like the moment when she rises, but it's entirely spoiled.
Yeah.
By them showing it in the trailer, because that's supposed to be like the big, you know.
That's another one of those cases though where they edited something out too.
What do you mean?
The lunchbox.
The lunchbox?
Yeah.
Oh, when she's
yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah, they edited out of the trailer.
That part was. God. Okay, that's the ending. Okay, we need to start a little earlier than that.
But other than the acting, I mean, I like, you know, as I said, I like the story.
Okay, so we got the acting from Brie Larson. I think she was good. A lot of people are saying they'll probably like her better in the ensemble cast. And I entirely agree with that. I think she was fine on her own. Maybe not as strong a solo performance as Doctor Strange was. Because I feel like he probably held his own solo charisma-based like dialogue stuff pretty well. Because he was just kind of an asshole. But I am very interested to see how she bounces off the Avengers because she's a much more serious character, but also kind of has a different sense of humor.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I wouldn't even really say she's that serious because I mean she's kind of dorky, like in a cute way, you know. Like that's how she came off to me actually, just very like cute, but also like, you know, when she knows how to get serious, you know. I don't know. I don't think of like I don't think she's personality wise like closely related to anyone we've seen before. At least, like, you know.
And that's what I'm saying. Like her sense of humor, she has a sense of humor and she makes jokes, but they're not kind of the jokes that everyone else makes.
Yeah. Like it's more, I guess, sarcastic maybe.
Yeah, and I think that works pretty well with Brie Larson in general. Like she matched her character. Like it seemed fitting.
Yeah, because it's not like say like some people compare like Tony and Doctor Strange because they're both
and they're
assholes that make witty stuff. I guess she's not. Brie Larson didn't acted as like the same as like Scarlett Johansson or something like that.
Yeah,
like she seems pretty unique.
Yes, so that's why I think it'll be interesting having her compared to all the other characters. God, and that kind of plays into the post-credit scene. Yeah. Okay. Backing it up. Samuel Jackson. Yeah, I thought he was great. Yeah, the makeup on him, I feel like it was a combination of CGI and makeup.
Also, he doesn't look that old to begin with, honestly.
He does. Have you seen a recent picture of Samuel Jackson? Yeah. You can tell.
I mean, you can tell, but I'm saying, like, it's not as... I don't know. It's like Morgan Freeman or something.
Yeah, but it worked really well. The de-aging stuff worked really well.
My man Coulson.
They also aged him back, and it was like...
Yeah. Although, I don't know, he looked kind of the same too.
No, he was definitely aged young. If you had a comparison, like he has more hair, he has
That's my fucking
less
dad,
wrinkles,
dude.
And that's the same shit for what?
That's my dad, dude.
Coulson.
That's my fucking dad.
He's never gonna come back again.
That's okay. He's busy.
So nobody cares about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm sorry.
Stop, bro.
Is that still going?
Yes, it is. Still going strong.
Wow.
Anyways, but who else was in it? Mainly.
They were the
main ones. I loved Talon?
Yes.
Yeah, Ben Mendelsohn.
I thought he was going to be a memorable villain, and then the whole twist and everything like that. He just ended up. Okay. The thing is, I was hoping that they would be more subversive than the twist that you could kind of already see coming.
Yeah.
So getting into spoiler territory, kind of skipping to the later points of the movie.
Well, yeah, let's save it. I'll remind you because we're still on acting.
Okay, so the twist. Fuck. Okay, so yes, Talos was good. There's nobody.
Rambo, Maria, is that her name? Maria Rambo.
Her co-pilot friend.
Yeah.
I felt she was fine.
Yeah, she was just kind of.
She's fine. I mean, it was. As her character, I felt like she was just kind of brought along in a sense.
Yeah,
like,
also she was...
Hey, a person who hasn't been a pilot in 6 years, you want to come along to space? Even though she has Nick Fury, who is... I guess she isn't technically a pilot, but I don't know.
I mean, the kid was good.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah. I think that's...
It was pulling out the heartstrings a bit,
Jude Law?
He was fine.
Yeah. Mainly, a lot of it is just, what they were given to work with.
Yeah, I didn't see the twist coming per se.
No, I did.
I did in an extent because I was like, wait a second, isn't Kree the same race that Ronan the Accuser is?
Yeah.
And then it gets to the point where like Ronan the Accuser actually starts showing up, and he's like, okay.
Well, it's not only me. Oh, by the way, that guy, the guy that plays Ronan the Accuser. I don't know. He's just. I'm sure he was told to act that way.
He's just a basic.
He just talks like this for every single thing, like no inflection at all, just simply like
this. He's accusing people. So at that point, hey, you stole my Cheerios.
You stole my Cheerios.
Okay. At that point, like Jude Law was like, he seemed like he was kind of on Carol's side against Ronan, but then it's just like, oh no, the Kree are just bad.
I knew because one, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The Kree are kind of represented as like, these dudes they're some dickheads. Like they enslave people, that kind of shit. So even knowing that coming in, but also I don't know, something in the marketing. I think it was that shot with him like turning around and his eyes are yellow.
His eyes are yellow.
No, I don't know, but something about that shot made me think, he's gonna be the villain.
Also, it's weird. Why is Jude Law not blue? If he's actually Kree, why is he blue? Makes sense because Carol isn't blue. Because
the way I was, because I mean, hey, the other guy, he was black. Digimon.
He was blue.
No, he wasn't.
All the Kree were blue.
No, he was black.
Oh yeah, the one dude that's in
yeah. He was
Guardians.
Also, he's the who? That guy.
Yeah, I was wondering because I was like, is him and Ronan are going to defect, right? And then I was like, I was kind of giving benefit of the doubt that they wouldn't just go full evil with it. And then the Skrull ended up being,
Well, because that's the thing.
Okay, fuck it. I want to talk about the twist.
Okay.
Fuck it. The Skrull are good and Kree are evil. Flip around of expectations. The Skrull are historically evil in the comics, aren't they?
That's what I was about to say. Not always. It's kind of like with anything. Like some of them are good. Some of them just not. They're just trying to chill. And hey, like all things, they have some dickheads that are, But you are right, because like, for example, among the Skrulls, the most famous one, the Super Skrull, he's a Fantastic Four villain. Mm. So I could see why they would be more affiliated with villains, but they're sometimes they're neutral. So I don't know, depending on which perspective of comics you came from. Like I knew that coming in, that's why I wasn't as surprised. Mm.
Well, I came in thinking like, oh yeah, the Skrull evil. Yeah. And they're a really interesting villain species, because they do shape-shifting, and that leads to a lot of interesting situations that you haven't really seen in the MCU. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit more creative, and then...
Yeah, no, okay, that's one thing. I don't think I don't know. It had part of the thing with potential. I feel like they could have done a lot more with that. Like that's literally
What do you mean, the shapeshifter stuff, or like the
the shapeshifter stuff, the opportunities. I
feel like, okay, now talking about this and the fact that they can kind of go back and forth between being evil. Obviously, in this movie, they ended up being like neutral to good.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that Captain Marvel 2 post Endgame, whenever they need an Avengers villain, that the Skrull can't come back.
No, yeah, that's true.
And beat villains. I'd be open to that, and that seems like a logical next step.
Well, especially because the Fantastic Four, are going to be in the MCU by that point, and they're a Fantastic Four villain.
We'll see
yes,
about that.
They are.
Is that? Well, I guess they were in the Fox buyout, weren't they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's confirmed. Yeah. But okay, I'll start. Actually, you know what? What else did you like? Maybe we'll just do it that way.
What else did I like? Oh, my favorite part of the fucking movie is the part directly after the Rise moment. The Rise moment's good, but when she literally goes Super Saiyan is my favorite fucking part. If they ever make a Dragon Ball Z movie and they're wondering what to do, if they're wondering what to do for the Super Saiyan effect, they don't need to spike up his hair with hair gel. Yeah. Make their hair fucking float like
that was a hella cool moment.
They did not do the cool hair floating thing like anti-gravity for too long. That went away pretty quick, but my God, that was really cool when they had that, and then there was the fight. There was one moment during when she was like basically hulking out on them, where it just played Just a Girl. I felt like that song was kind of out of place. Every other song I really liked. All the 90s music.
The first time, it felt a little out of place, but then, I don't know, I got used to it pretty quickly.
Like, the tempo, like, it was there, but, like, it didn't... I wish it had synced up more with the action, almost in a Baby Driver kind of way.
Yeah.
And they had more foresight, but I feel like it's probably just a song that they added in, post. It wasn't planned originally. All the other 90s music I felt was pretty fitting. But the part where she's going through space and shooting shit, literally goes Super Saiyan and can now fly. The part where she starts flying, I'm surprised she didn't make a joke about it. I was kind of hoping they would make a, I can fly now joke, just like Iron Man.
Well, also, another thing is, like, so she couldn't before, right?
No, she just...
So she was pretty damn quickly.
Suddenly she's just like...
I mean, luckily...
She doesn't try to stop her fall or anything. She's just like, I'm going to start flying now.
Luckily, I guess it moves so fast at that point that you don't really question it. But I remember thinking at one point, like, wait, hold up.
I think it was just to show, like, she's uncuffed now. She can basically... This is what she can actually do.
They were riding along, that...
Which is a level that I'm happy she's at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So she had, pretty limited powers, the photon blast, whatever. By the end of the movie, she has her Captain Marvel powers and can do all that cool shit. She destroys the ships. I like that she just, like, punches her fist to, like, scare them away. I thought that was kind of interesting. But I guess that's really the only way they could have not killed Ronan there. Having him be there, that was really the only way, is to have him run away.
How did you take that line?
Which one? Where he has to come back for the woman?
Yeah.
No, I felt that was terrible. I felt that was super out of place, because that never happens.
What does that even mean? Like, is it supposed to be like a very, predator kind of like flirty?
I feel like it was maybe a combination of both, like really impressed with her because like he's supposed to be a warrior, although he doesn't actually do much.
Was it? So it was kind of cringy. And then people were also saying, like, I've seen people saying online now that it was cringy. I didn't know.
I think it could have been a better line, like, Like, something about them staying away from Earth as opposed to...
Yeah, because I didn't know if to take it that way, like, oh, he was impressed, or if it was supposed to be some typical, like, man joke, like he thought she was hot or something. I
feel like it was more on the side of, like, we need to come back and kill her at some point.
Yeah, because I don't know, because he did a weird smirk.
Yeah.
I was just like, what?
So that's why I feel like it was kind of a combination maybe of those things.
Just the way he delivered it too. I was just like,
he's dead now, so it doesn't matter.
What?
He's dead now, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah. Then why,
he's dead in Guardians.
Then why would you say that? Why?
That's what I'm saying. His story is it's begun in this movie and it was already ended in Guardians. Yeah. He doesn't do that at any point. He never comes back to Earth. And
what a weird thing, huh?
Okay, how do you feel, since we're basically...
Oh, wait, also, another thing.
Do you want to talk about any of the midpoints? Because I feel like the end of the movie is probably the biggest talking point stuff. Because, like, there was cool sequences, like, I thought they're falling to the planet and the shapeshifter fight's there.
We can continue just naming things we liked.
Okay. Because, goddamn, I like the ending a lot.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
I like that the prototype ship that they had was literally just the Avengers ship. I know that's totally... Was it? Yes. It's like the prototype version of the ship that the Avengers always use.
The Quinjet?
Yeah, that's a Quinjet. It's essentially exactly like that, but not painted. So I think that's what it's like an Easter egg kind of thing.
Yeah.
Another Easter egg thing that I caught and I really liked, but nobody else got in the theater, is whenever she's changing the colors on the suit. Did you know that most of or at least a few of those colors are colors of other Captain Marvel costumes?
I figured.
Yeah.
I figured.
It's like the white and green one. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That one made me laugh. And like there was black and gold and stuff like that.
Well, what'd you like about the end?
The ending.
Like what specifically that you're talking about?
Well, the Super Saiyan part, the part where Jude Law was like, "Oh, we're gonna fight with."
Oh yeah,
that shit made me laugh.
Yeah. Because I was like, bro, that was
a good subversion.
I'm so proud of you, and then he starts going on about like you're gonna fight me, but hand to hand or something.
That was a good little feminist move. Like, I don't need to prove myself to you.
Okay.
I like that.
I'll talk about it later. But the intro. The opening credits?
Which part was that again? Do you have to remind me?
Stan Lee.
Oh, yeah. I was going to bring that up. I totally forgot. Yeah, so the custom Stan Lee opening.
I cried.
That shit made me sad. I was like... I thought they would have probably saved that for Endgame, but I guess this is the first MCU movie coming out after Stan Lee, right?
And then it said, "Thank you, Stan." I cried.
The "Thank you, Stan" part made me fucking go...
Yeah. When I saw it, everybody cheered. Everybody was
there were claps in the theater.
Yeah, and also speaking of Stan, his cameo. Do you know
it was very wholesome. Yeah, she pulls down the newspaper and just kind of smiles at him.
It wasn't a newspaper. Do you know what he was reading?
What?
He was reading the script to Mallrats.
Are you for real?
The Kevin Smith movie, in that movie he cameos.
He cameos in Mallrats?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what he was saying?
Yeah, and
he was saying something about a beaver or something.
Yeah, no. And in the movie, his lines are. It's something special, something like that, and when he's talking to Jason Lee. Do you know? Do you know?
I haven't watched Mallrats.
Have you seen the cameo at least?
No.
It's a very long cameo, pretty much where he's talking as himself as Stan Lee to Jason Lee's character, and they're talking about love or something. And in the movie, it's written right there on what he's reading, Mallrats. So he was rehearsing the lines.
Okay, that makes sense. I was like, oh, is Stanley crazy? He keeps repeating something about a beaver or something like that. No. Okay, I didn't catch that. I thought he was just reading a newspaper.
In a way, me too. Until someone pointed it out, and then I saw it again yesterday, so I looked for it. And yeah, it did say Mallrats in which now I guess is kind of crazy.
That's clever.
Because that means
Stan Lee is Stan Lee.
Yeah, he was cameoing as Stan Lee.
Or Mallrats is canon as a movie in that universe, and The Watcher played Stan Lee in that movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So
because in the movie, he during that cameo, he talks about how he invented the Hulk and Spider-Man and stuff. So yeah. Anyways, that's a
paradox.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole. You don't want. Hey, here's another one, off topic, but Black Panther, that scene in the casino where
that's where he was, right?
Where the Weeknd was, the Weeknd song was playing. So that means in that universe, The Weeknd exists, and he played, and that song was on a Black Panther album in that universe. All right, that's irrelevant. Anyways.
No, that means the song exists in their universe.
So it's just
however, the album exists in our universe separately.
So what album is it on in the Marvel universe?
It could have just been a single. You never know.
I guess.
That's like saying
point shut down. Never mind.
A lot of people brought that up whenever Star Trek happened because they play Sabotage in Star Trek 3 and then and then they talk about Spock in another song, so that's another paradox.
Oh yeah.
That one's a little less excusable than that the one you were talking about, The Weeknd, because that was a song custom made for the movie. You know, it was meant to be put into the movie's universe.
Yeah.
Almost like the Post Malone song in Spider-Verse, you could say.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just a song. It's a song in both universes, but in ours, it's for a movie it's in.
Nope, paradox.
But
yeah. So I thought that was that, but it was wholesome. I loved it.
It was
that train sequence too. I like that with the old lady.
Yeah, where people actually start fighting her. Somebody pointed out in a review because I held off all reviews really until after I watched it, because that's what I generally do for like hero movies that I want to see. Somebody pointed out that none of the extras say anything when they're holding her back, which is a little weird. And I caught that. I thought about that after.
I kept thinking, man.
I didn't think about it though in the moment. I guess.
No, yeah. The first time I didn't, but the second time I noticed.
Yeah, the extras just weren't told to say anything probably at the time. Like it made sense because like if you think about it, you just watch the trailer, it's like, oh, she's gonna fight an old lady. But it's like, oh yeah, people see somebody fighting an old lady, they're gonna try to stop her.
No, but then because they hold her back right when she starts punching her, and that shit was funny. Man, that shit was funny. But and then they see the old lady starts doing moves. She starts flipping around, and then they still try and hold her back. I would have been at that point. I would have been like, "Oh no!" Nah. So
you would have stepped away.
Yeah, I would have been like, I'm leaving y'all alone."
Okay. So we've talked about pretty much everything we liked about it.
Did you like the scroll makeup?
I thought I liked it, honestly. A lot of people compared it to Piccolo. I thought...
No, but
which I can see, but I think overall it worked, because, like,
I thought it was
what would you have rather them have?
No, that's true. Like, that's true.
Like,
that's about as close...
Human makeup, like...
That's about as close as you could get.
Jude Law feels way more out of place than the Kree or the Skrull ever do, because he just is not blue. He just has yellow eyes. It's like... Some movies are kind of lazy about
another thing about the Kree. So it's kind of like... Apparently, it's kind of like our race. The human race. You know, there's black people, Asian people... Mexican people, white people. Some
blue people.
Yeah, so in the Kree, it's like, hey, there's some that are blue, some that are not.
Is that a comics thing, or is that just...
I think it's I think it's a comics thing.
Okay.
But most of them, if not all of them, have been blue. And they're known to be assholes. Real assholes.
Those damn blue people.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's all I got for now.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, do you want to talk about the post-credit scene?
Oh, yeah,
because that part was good. I know... Okay, before we get into what it was, it seemed tonally and from a cinematography perspective, seemed entirely different from Captain Marvel, so I'm almost certain that that's just a straight-up clip from the Endgame, at least kind of edited.
What do you mean edited?
Like... I don't know if it's going to quick cut to Captain Marvel just being there.
Oh, okay.
Like that rapid. I feel like there's going to be a little bit more nuance to it. But they was probably cut down for this, or they weren't done with the edit. But could you tell, like, it's pretty obvious that it's, like, shot by totally different people?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, no, it was very, literally what you said. Cinematography. Like, the color grading, tonally, like... A
little bit of the writing.
The music. Yeah, the writing,
But, I mean, so... I'm almost certain that's a clip from Endgame in the same way that Ragnarok had, or Doctor Strange had Ragnarok at the end of it.
Although, do you think that's bad?
No, not at all. I mean,
because I liked, I preferred it.
I'm not against it.
Okay.
I'd much rather have just a clip played from another movie than the joke post-credit scenes.
Okay,
because those ones are a little like, and this one even has a joke credit scene, which is like,
I didn't
need to stay for that.
It's I mean,
but I think I like the format of the joke credit scene is last usually, but the universe one is middle. And
well, I don't know.
They've been kind of inconsistent about that.
Well, sometimes that makes the ending one even worse because you're like, I stayed for that, you know, like. If
Maybe.
it was like
It's hard to say. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 had like 4 in credit scenes or whatever, and like one of them was relevant, and one's probably never going to happen. With the Adam Warlock. I don't know. See, what is your preferred method for the end credit scenes? Because do you think they should only be universe related ones? Do you think they should be movie specific? Do you think?
Look, unless it's really funny, don't ever do the joke ones.
Did you like the Iron Man 3 ending one?
The therapist one?
Yeah.
Oh, it was okay. I mean, it was good. Like it wasn't.
It was It was basically just a cameo.
Yeah. But like for example, the Ant-Man and the Wasp one. I remember I hated that. Well, I hated the ant playing the drums. I like
that one was second, right? That one was second.
It was the last one.
Yeah. So they did kind of the jokey one second, even though that one is kind of like super dark.
But also, here's the thing. I hated that, but I liked the super somber, like, you know, in the background, like you could tell, like,
shit, something's happening.
Like some shit went down. Like, you know, I don't know. It's kind of a weird. What do you call it? Like when they're polar opposites. It's a juxtaposition.
They juxtaposed it, or
because you know you got the ant playing drums, which is supposed to be the funny bit, and then you can see all the.
They put the ant bit in the trailer too. Funny enough, like out of context, which is funny. Another
joke one I think would be Homecoming. Yeah, the second one, the very last one was Captain America. They're saying, you know, patience is a virtue or something like that.
That's what he says. I don't remember the second one. I didn't realize movies had second ones until like pretty late in. I didn't know that Avengers had a post-credit scene. I didn't find out until the second year.
Oh yeah.
I did not find out there was a second post-credit scene of the shawarma.
The shawarma, yeah. I didn't know either. Yeah, I didn't.
I didn't know for years because I think that's when the second one, the two credit scenes started.
Yeah.
So the mid and the post-credit scene, which, you know, it's cool.
No, but I liked it. I liked the end universe one, like the costume too.
Which one?
For Endgame.
What?
I mean, for Captain Marvel.
Was her costume different?
Yeah.
I didn't see.
Bro.
I wasn't paying attention. I was just so struck.
Yeah. I was too. I was I geeked. Because I didn't think they were going to do anything like that.
Oh, is it like the classic like black and gold lightning bolt costume?
No, it's just a different like design.
Oh.
But.
Are you trying to find it?
Yeah, because I had saved it. I'm pretty sure. Fuck. No, I didn't.
Okay.
But anyways. So I mean.
Overall, I'm excited for Endgame, and I am excited to see how she interacts with the characters. One thing I want to do after this podcast, closer to the actual release, so like the actual last one we filmed before Endgame, I'd like to film a wrap up almost, like a tie on the bow. What was your favorite kind of thing?
Yeah, and
predictions for Endgame. So I want to do kind of a pre-Endgame and then a post-Endgame podcast.
Shoulders.
I thought you had those shoulders.
Let me find another.
Oh well. Oh no, it is different. So there's more gold. So yeah, I guess there's a slight costume change. So that could be purely a cosmetic like production design thing too, though.
Yeah, it looks cool.
No, I'm excited in general. But yeah. Eric is looking at butts and he just saved it.
I'm not
on Instagram.
Stop.
While looking for these pictures.
What didn't you like?
What didn't I like about the movie?
Yeah,
I think we already talked about. I mean, I feel like the cat was
specific. No, like specific bad things you didn't like.
Yeah, the cat.
The cat.
The bit like
how he lost his eye, or just the cat in general.
I liked that.
You liked how he lost his eye?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes. Okay, so basically the cat scratches his eye, and that's why he has scratch marks and is missing an eye now.
I was like, you gotta be fucking.
I know you retweeted it.
Yeah,
I saw some guy explaining that they're doing jokes over character development whenever they show the Coulson thing. No, that was which part were you upset with? The fact that he lost it from a cat, or the fact that he lied about it and was like trying to act badass about it? Okay, I feel like the acting badass part was totally in character.
It is, but it's very much. I think it really does undermine that scene. Because here's the thing. Because it is, I think, a bigger issue among that a lot of Marvel films do, where they will undercut a very serious moment with a joke. And here's the thing. Personally, I mean, look, this is just
there was
me.
no serious moment in that time, though.
I didn't.
The thing that they were subverting, which you and whoever complains about this does not understand or take into consideration, was the fact that they were subverting it. Because you go into it, you're like, oh my god, he's going to lose his eye in the most badass way. How did Nick Fury lose his eye? And that's why whenever he has the car crash, he has a fucking scar over his eye. So you're like, oh my god, did he lose his eye? But no.
That whole subversion argument is bullshit.
That's what people... Can you at least understand that's what they were going for? It was subverting it. So this is how he lost his eye, you know?
Okay, look,
in the dumbest way, because whatever your cool theory was, that's not what happened.
Just because you go against what people think, it doesn't make it interesting or better or cooler. Okay.
Are you saying The Last Jedi wasn't fantastic?
That's literally the argument for The Last Jedi, that it was subversive, subverted your expectations. Okay, that doesn't mean good.
No, I know. I agree. I would agree with that argument.
So look, and I saw an argument defending the eye thing, which was basically.
I don't think it is a joke, the way that they presented it, but it was a subversion of the story.
Look, how you said it's in character for him to lie, because he also established that he lies about it.
Because he wants to be mysterious.
Yeah, but I think it's very much, you could tell when he first delivers that line in The Winter Soldier that it doesn't come across as him just lying to look tough. It seems like...
Oh yeah, did he actually tell the story in Winter Soldier?
No, he didn't tell the story. He just said the line is, "Last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye."
Oh, I see. Okay, so that
you didn't even look at the scene.
No, that's why we're doing the show.
It was in the tweet that I retweeted.
Oh,
it was the clip. Yeah,
I was just like,
what he does is
I just heard the character development thing.
No, when Cap is talking to Fury, Cap says something about trust within the team. They're having a very a straight serious moment, and he says hey, when I go out in a team, we all need to trust each other. Otherwise, how are we gonna get shit done? And then Nick gets up in his face and he says, "Last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye." So now you find out it's a fucking cat. Okay,
he trusted the cat. And
No.
No, okay, I can understand why.
I didn't like that at all. Especially,
I can see why that would undermine it a bit. Okay, it makes more context. I thought the subversion was under the
I don't give a fuck about
pretense of they thought it was something.
Hey, honestly, they shouldn't have just shown it. They should have just never revealed it, because no matter what, people were gonna,
It's just what it is.
But okay, so I didn't like that. I think I don't really think it needed to be in the 90s.
I think it helped to be more interesting.
I mean, it helped, to differentiate it more, but it wasn't that. There was nothing it's
very much like a retcon of the past in a sense.
Because
if this movie did not exist, you would not have thought it existed prior. You can tie it in a sense where Nick Fury believes in superheroes and wants them to.
But there's no indication,
But he waited 20 years to do it.
Okay, so that's the thing. So it's
or 10 years, whatever.
I was hoping they would explain, okay, well, first I think they could have done it another way. Right.
What did you think of the fact that he named it the Avengers because of the plane?
Oh, I mean, I was some people in the theater, on the first video, they groaned loud. A girl was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, oh, "It's fine." I mean,
it was a little it
was on the nose. Yeah.
It was very on the nose.
Yeah, it was completely on the nose.
It's you could have. It's like the eye thing. It's you didn't have to do this in the 90s.
No, yeah, but I don't know. I personally didn't.
I liked it being in the 90s.
Okay, but
it played into a little bit of the character's backstory because she became a test pilot because they couldn't be actual fighter pilots for the Air Force. So I think that kind of played into it.
Well, let's see. So I like that they didn't hit you over the head with the 90s stuff. The music was probably the most.
A little bit in the beginning of when they felt the planet. I didn't know they were already at the part where they were on Earth until she fell into the blockbuster. So I was like, oh, okay, they're here now. Because I thought whenever it showed the ship, I thought they were above whatever planet they were on.
Oh. Okay.
So I was like, oh, they're just going to continue and eventually go to Earth for some reason. But no, they just kind of smashed to it. And I was like, that's probably, for the pacing reasons, it's probably the best thing they could have done.
Yeah. No, it moves fast.
It did feel It felt a little long to me.
Oh, did it?
A little bit.
No, both
but
times.
Sometimes Marvel movies are like that for me, and the second time I watch them, they go a lot faster.
No, it went by pretty fast both times. To me, at least. But, okay, but, like, and now, for example, like, here's the problem with sitting in the past, and pretty much, retconning, because here's the thing, like, for example, Coulson, right, you know, and they allude to it in Iron Man. They say, you know, he tells Tony, like, Mr. Stark, this isn't my first rodeo. You know, but
it's more of a, like, they made vague references to it, which you could have just interpreted as in, like, oh, they're interesting backstories. But now they're just kind of, like, adding a story to the backstory. And it's up to a person's own judgment whether or not that fits into their, like, preconception of it. Because,
for example, like, and this is where you run into a much bigger problem that, you know, sometimes, you know, comes at the cost of having such a big universe. In Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they encounter the Kree a lot. You know, Kree blood, blue blood, you know, all that stuff. It's part of what revives Coulson. And in the movie, you know, because it ties into the Inhumans and all that stuff, there's never any indication
about Captain Marvel.
Yeah, ever. Like that, you know, Coulson has known or is familiar with it, at least, because when it happens in the show, he's like brand new to all of it. He's
to be fair, though, Coulson was only really around her for like 2 parts.
No, and that's what I'm.
And then he stopped showing up. He was basically a cameo, like an extended cameo in a few scenes. He was. As like a hey, here's Coulson. Even though like, okay, Coulson's hyped up, but like the thing about Coulson is he was in Phase 1 a lot. Yeah. He was in the Avengers. He died in the Avengers. Movie wise, he was gone after that. Yeah. And even in like Iron Man 1, 2, and Thor, he doesn't play that big a role. I mean, honestly, kind of in Iron Man 2, a little bit in Thor, more so as a character, but like he doesn't. It's kind of like Loki. It's like they were there for the time, but it's like you can't really tell why they picked up so much with fans, but they did.
Nah, Coulson, dude, that's my dad. All right, don't ever disrespect him. Even though
what he did was fine, and I really liked. It was cool seeing like a young Coulson and a young Nick Fury.
Nick. I mean, although Nick, I liked his character a lot. You know, he hadn't seen as much shit.
Yeah, that was the first time he saw aliens,
and he's kind of a rookie. You know,
so they kind of place this in as like the first superhero that the Avengers were involved in. Even it's kind of weird now the fact that Captain America, the first Avenger.
Yeah. And then also like. Here's the thing. Look, I think they said in the 90s, not so much because they wanted it for the, you know, purpose of the story, more because maybe they just couldn't find another way to weave it in. Because that is true. Look, as much as I say, like, they could have done it another way, I can't think of one.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it was the best way from a chronological perspective.
Yeah, because like, think about it.
Yes. So basically for that point, yes, I agree with you. One thing that I need to get out of my mind before, like this, as far as the don't like things or like the beacon, the pager.
Oh, okay.
She modifies a 90s pager to be intergalactic. Okay, fine. Yeah. Nick Fury does not use that throughout 2 Avenger events.
Okay, yeah. So here's the thing. 2
Avenger events. 3, technically, if you count that he was aware of Infinity War happening, and somehow Captain Marvel didn't know about it.
Okay, see, look, this goes in part with the whole 90s thing, right? Because again, you know, I just, I don't know how else he would have done it, because I guess the other way would have been like, hey, at some point between maybe Civil War, you know, like, she suddenly got powers somehow, right? You know, and then like, she's just barely coming out here in Endgame or something, but like... Yeah, she says only for emergencies.
I liked, the way that they got her to basically be away from the MCU by finding a new Skrull planet. I thought that was the most in character and in plot way they could have done it.
I thought so too, but at the same time, I don't think it fully... I'm still debating on whether I justify it as being away for that long. And because look, if I wanted to justify him not calling her during the first Avengers, is because, maybe he thought they could handle it. You know, he had all like at the time.
Yeah, and that's what they're going. Yeah, that's the canon.
And like maybe again in Age of Ultron. Well, you know, hey, they're already a group because at this point in Captain Marvel, there's only her. Yeah, you know, and so I guess he thought maybe they could handle it. But still, you would have.
He doesn't act like he has a nuke in his pocket.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. But like at the same time, I don't know. You think he would have at least mentioned it, like, or thought about it? A scene.
But she is such a huge power escalation, I think, from every character. A lot of people said that she doesn't seem as powerful as stories. Like, she's literally punching through spaceships and flying through space on her own, which is Superman level.
Here's another thing too. You know, I don't know. I think I guess maybe the way it was not cut, edited, maybe, like, I don't know. I felt they skipped over a lot of stuff.
Like what?
Well, like, you know, if you wanted to build, I guess, more character, like her childhood.
I think that's why they skimmed through it a lot.
Yeah.
You got the gist.
And then like the training stuff too. I would have preferred to see her more of her as a pilot too. I thought that stuff was like interesting because you've never seen anything like that either.
I feel like they probably didn't do that because it would have bogged it down a lot to fill it with too many flashbacks in an amnesia story. And then like because I thought the amnesia thing was fine, by the way. A lot of people complain about that. I think this is the best way they could have possibly done an amnesia story, and there's not another amnesia story in the MCU, so it doesn't matter.
No, I thought it was cool. Because I mean, at the same time, a lot of the stuff is new. It's like, you know, fresh. Like, you know, the whole Skrulls thing. You know, the whole.
It's way more sci-fi. Than
yeah.
Okay, I don't want to say that it's not superhero, but okay. So think of it as Winter Soldier is a superhero with spy elements.
No, I consider that more of a spy movie. Actually,
a lot of people
that just happens to be.
They're all superhero movies, in my opinion. Like, then there's Doctor Strange that has, you know, magical elements. There's Thor. It's a superhero movie, but it has, you know, mythology moments. This is sci-fi superhero, not in the same sense of Guardians of the Galaxy. There's like a distinct feel between the two.
Well, like Guardians is more of like I hear people call it a space opera.
It's more of a like Star Wars kind of story.
Yeah.
And this is more of a like...
And actually, you know... That's a good way of putting it.
It's more of a space cop, Green Lantern kind of sci-fi.
See, I don't think this movie is enough to be considered anything like that. You know, kind of like how you would consider The Winter Soldier a spy movie, like you would consider, you know, Guardians a space opera.
I would say it's a space cop movie.
Space cop?
Space cop. So like Green Lantern kind of story.
Yeah.
I mean, in a sense, like very basic. Like it's more of there's implied stuff like Green Lantern Corps in the background, but
like also, I mean, like I'm okay with them skipping the training, like of her becoming a Kree soldier and all that. But like the fighter pilot stuff, like I thought that was cool. I would have wanted to see more of that.
Oh, okay, that kind of ties in. So she's flying the Lightspeed spaceship, everything like that. She's testing that out. What did you think of the Tesseract suddenly popping in?
Oh yeah,
we totally forgot to talk about that. What did you think about the Tesseract? Because I've been studying, because I was like,
man,
I was looking it up, but like, what did you think when you first saw that pop up?
You know, I thought it was cool, of course. You know, I was like, you know, I was like, oh, hey, you again.
Yeah. It's more so they have a reference for what the Tesseract actually does now. Because at first, the Infinity Stones, whatever they were like super general. They didn't always follow like whatever stone they were supposed to be. Yeah. Like Loki's staff, for whatever reason, can activate the space stone and they teleport. The fact that he can teleport to the space stone for no reason is kind of like glossed over. Like they don't think about it too much.
My immediate thought was like, oh, you know, that's cool. And then I was like, wait.
It at least makes sense in this context because it's the space stone. Yeah, but it could be kind of used in that way.
Yeah, no, but then I started thinking about the timeline. I was like, wait, so where's this thing been? Where is it now?
I looked it up. So, it starts with Odin giving it to the Norse people, so Norway.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's explained at the very beginning of Captain America.
Oh, okay. Oh,
so Odin gives it to the humans in Norway. The Nazis invade Norway. The Nazis take it. Hydra has it. Then Captain America gets it, and then Red Skull has it, and they fight over it, and then it goes in the ocean.
Right. And then
Howard Stark gets it from the ocean. Howard Stark has it at S.H.I.E.L.D. At some point, that goes to Pegasus.
Okay, and then, they take it into space, and then... Because at the start of Avengers, it's already on Earth, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's actually first seen in the end credit scene of Thor, which I just saw again. It's in the end credit scene of Thor, and then...
is?
Yes.
Well, where is
Nick Fury just has it. So, in theory, it is implied from this movie that Nick Fury has it from the 90s up until Avengers. Which is fine. It's fine. It's kind of like, okay, so you just kind of had that whole time.
Yeah, I know. Right?
And also, in Thor, he's trying to use it as
Why did he only start to develop weapons in Avengers then if he's had it for 20 years?
I don't know.
Anyway, yes. See, that's stuff you have to sacrifice when placing a movie like in this timeline. You know?
So in theory, it explains how it got from S.H.I.E.L.D. away from S.H.I.E.L.D. and back to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Actually, you didn't need to include it in that case. Like, it was just a cool little cameo, but in that case, you didn't need to even show it at all. Because, I was under the impression the whole time, they just had it.
Yeah. Well, now there's some mid-steps in there, and it was inside a cat's stomach.
I guess. Also, just because I want to wrap up the 90s thing, because there's a lot. I feel there's a lot of missed opportunities. There's a lot of characters you could have shown. Peggy. You could have shown Peggy Carter. That would have been
kind of hard.
Well, they were all at S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time.
I guess, but she would have been.
I mean, and this is I'm aware that this is a very niche thing.
The World War II stuff is. We'll talk about it more in Iron Man 2, which is already out by the time this comes out. About the timeline of how stuff works with World War II, because it's so far back.
Yeah.
But wait,
why are you bringing up World War II?
Because that's when Peggy was an adult. So I would say by the 90s she'd be like super old.
Oh, but remember she was still in like...
she was a Winter Soldier, but she died.
No, she was in Ant-Man. She was dying.
Peggy?
Yeah, at the beginning.
Oh, well, I was like...
And that was 80s, I think. Yeah.
Oh, well.
So yeah, and then look, I understand this is very niche, but you could have my girl May from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That show doesn't exist in the eyes of Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige does not give a fuck about Marvel TV.
Anyways, but no, and like not only that, along with the Skrulls, I thought they would have. I mean, they do kind of leave it open to interpretation that maybe someone is a Skrull on Earth. But not really. No,
not by the end of this movie. Yeah. I think they entirely leave Earth and... See, that's another thing. It's just like...
I would have liked to...
The Skrulls are just in a nice little bow. Hey, Skrulls are gone.
No,
we're fine.
It would have been cool if one of them stayed and,
It would have. I would have been okay if they implied something like that. Not if they were a main character. That would have pissed me off.
Because, I don't know, I felt whenever the little girl, she says... What does she say? She says, don't ever change your eyes. No matter what, and I felt like that was.
I think that was just like a throwaway line.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I thought
about first. The races.
I guess
the
if you really want to make you can make a political like. I realized this on my second time viewing it. You could make a political like a
maybe
message at the refugees.
If Skrulls, it's a very shallow allegory. I haven't used allegory way too much as a word. It's a very shallow like metaphor.
Allegory is right.
Okay, it's a very shallow like parallel. But yes, I that's
Okay, this is the one that might get me in trouble. But I'm gonna preface this.
Cancel the podcast. And you're at the very end. Also, this episode's like twice the length of the start of the episode.
Well, there's a lot to unpack, Yes.
And also, this is the first one where we're seeing a Marvel movie coming out as it comes out.
Well, actually, I'll explain my thought process because I saw this with a girl the second time, and so it gave me a bit more perspective because I told her. To me, it seemed a little heavy-handed at times.
To you or
to me with the feminism thing, and before everybody starts attacking me, I'll let me finish.
I'll protect you.
I know. I'm out here on my own. But so, like for example, there's a part where she's having flashbacks, and one of the guys says like,
"Cockpit."
Yeah, the cockpit one. So
why it's called the cockpit? Because I have a penis.
Yeah, I was like, I thought I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Well, okay, so then there's that. There's the biker guy, like hey, you should smile more. There was the army guys, like all.
But the thing is, there are guys actually like that,
and so
it's hard from a guy's perspective to understand. Like that's just. Okay, you're about to say.
Yeah. So look, and then at the end, this one I was more so okay with. I don't have anything to prove to you.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah, So I was like, okay, that's cool. Because it, I don't know, they never showed one instance of a guy being nice. I guess
Nick Fury,
like a regular guy,
Coulson.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay, you're right.
The people defending the old lady.
Actually, no, you're right. But okay, so
you're trying to get on the anti-men side.
No.
That's what I'm saying. There's
there's
plenty of non-toxic people in the movie.
And then you're right.
Talos,
you what a gentleman. Anyways, not really. He's about to kill Fury. I realized that the second time I was like, this dude's like good enough, but he tried to kill a couple people.
Yeah.
But anyways, like, then I asked the girl like, hey, so, you know, it seemed a little heavy-handed to me, but then again, I'm a guy, and so like I'm aware that women go through this like all the time, especially like the guy like you should smile more, that kind of thing. So there was that, and then she brought it up. She brought this up. She's like, look, you are aware that guys are like, you know, like, hey, you know,
can be shitty.
Yeah, we can be shitty like a lot. You know, we can be pretty terrible. But and so me being aware that when stuff like that happens, you know, it calls out to me more, especially like, oh my god, like as exaggerated. Mm-hmm. But like, because I think, oh wow, cockpit, like no one would never say that. Mm-hmm. But then I remember, yeah, of course there are dudes that like actually they think that's normal. Mm-hmm. I guess, you know, like they you know, they say shit like that, you know, and maybe it needs to be called out to them more than me, because I'm already aware that, you know, guys are shitty. But to some guy that's like naive who doesn't think he's ever like doing anything wrong, I guess, you know. And so I was like, okay, you know, that makes sense. And then also I remembered, well, it's the 90s. So I'm guessing people were even shittier then. You know, dudes in the army especially saying like, you know, oh, you can't do it, you're too emotional, that kind of shit, you know. So, and then she brought, at the end, like I was already okay with the I have nothing to prove to you line. Mm-hmm. But she added more of like she gave me another perspective. She said that because women a lot of times are, like a man is forced to kind of, I'm losing the word, but I guess weaken themselves to get on the level as women. Mm-hmm. So, or women have to work extra harder to like prove something to men usually, because men are like, you know, stronger, you know, physically or whatever. And so her saying like, you know, just shut up and shooting him was kind of like, yeah, like, you know, I don't need to prove shit to you. You know, I'm my own woman. I was like, okay, you know, that's cool. Cause she really enjoyed all the messages and stuff in it. And yeah, you know, I thought it was cool. Just at the beginning, it came off to me. And it still kind of does a little heavy handed with, you know, the whole, then again, maybe I should just shut up.
No, I think you handled it in a pretty, you know, short of having an actual woman on here to talk about the point. Okay, to preface this, we're a bunch of dumb guys. Oh yeah. Okay, we're dumb guys here at MCU ME. We obviously don't have a woman guest here.
But we're respectful.
Respect women 2019
for
and every year.
Yes.
And every
day is Valentine's Day.
Well, but anyway. Every day is treat other people like human beings day.
Mainly that, because yeah, again, dude. Okay, because look, you see, I'm as a dude that's aware. Like, I gotta remember, there's dudes out there that slide into girls' DMs, and when they say no, they're like, "Well, fuck you, bitch. You know, you ugly ass bitch." And like, there's dudes that actually do that and aren't aware of how crazy that is. So
types.
Yeah, so it's not like unusual to think that a guy would like you would say some shit like that, like, you know what they call it, a cockpit, right? I was like, oh brother, dude.
For the incels that go to this movie to watch it out of hate, that's their superhero, and they're like, wait, why didn't he come back?
Right. They're like, wow, what a bitch. You should have just like, you know, gone with him or something.
Jesus. So yeah, we're dumb. Prefacing it with that. We're both gonna get called cucks, but
I don't know.
This movie is not deserving of the hatred it gets. It's not anti-men.
Nah, it's definitely not.
It's pro-women. I mean, yeah, you can say like, that, but that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, hey, I mean, here's the thing. People are like, why do you make such a big deal out of it? It's like, well, because look at the other 18 movies like in the Marvel universe that are all white dudes. You know, like this is a big deal to chicks seeing like a good role model, you know?
Yeah, and the same with like Wonder Woman. Yeah, that came out. Of course, it's going to get a lot of comparisons to Wonder Woman.
Here's the thing,
which is kind of like fucked up because like, as opposed to comparing it to movies that have like similar plots or characters, they're going to compare it to Wonder Woman because it's a female-led superhero movie.
But at the same time, I mean, it's kind of fair because it's the only other one.
Yes,
like modern one at least.
Elektra?
You know?
Question mark?
Catwoman. But see, that's why whenever I start to think maybe it isn't heavy-handed, I start to think, well, Wonder Woman laid out that message well, like women empowerment, and they never really, there was no heavy-handed moment in that movie that I remember at least. Mm-hmm. What I consider heavy-handed is like calls attention away. It makes you forget about that scene or something, Just kind of like...
They both had pretty heavy-handed parts comparing it to Wonder Woman, because like there's the part where like they're like, oh, she doesn't want to wear a dress and stuff like that. Where it's and her walking in and not understanding like the politics of the times. There's different stories. Like Wonder Woman's fish out of water. This is kind of fish out of water, but more in an amnesia sort of sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Carol Danvers acts more like a human in her fish out of water story than Wonder Woman. Oh yeah, which is both that's a plot.
Well, it's a little different, because
that's the thing. But like, she acts like a character. Like I feel like Wonder Woman doesn't really make jokes and doesn't have too much. I liked Wonder Woman, but like,
I did.
Like charisma wise,
I think we're in the minority there, though.
I would still say that Brie Larson has more, like...
No, yeah, me too. No, I like her a lot. Like, I thought she was...
Dude, when she fucking body slammed a fucking spaceship, I was like, oh my god!
Oh, man, yeah, I'm telling... No, okay, so look, man, all that action... I thought the action was really good, actually.
Yeah. No,
like, especially the training scene in the beginning, and that whole ending scene.
Like, no, I'm sorry. I'm gonna forget everything as far as action, besides the train stuff. And the Super Saiyan part. When she unlocks her full power, like, that shit's just good.
Yeah, from that on...
It literally brought her up to S tier power level. Like, God, that sounds so fucking nerdy. But, like... Okay, so Avengers-wise, you have the humans, you have Hawkeye, Black Widow...
Damn, they ain't shit.
Okoye, stuff like that, all the humans, stuff like that. Then you have the advanced humans, which is like Captain America, Black Panther.
Spider-Man. Well, actually, no, because
I put Spider-Man a tier above because he has
because he's at like super strength. Because I think Cap and Black Panther are just peak.
Yeah, I think they're super strength.
Cap is peak.
He held a fucking helicopter. He has super strength.
No, he's peak. That's the official canon. Like he's the peak condition a man could possibly be.
But Spider-Man is superhuman. Has stuff like the spider sense and other things helping him, like the web shooters. So I feel like that puts him above like. People with actual powers would be above that, and I don't know if you'd put Hulk in that same category or above him.
No, I think Hulk is...
And then on Spider-Man, I'd also put like the level of like heroes who may be normal but also have stuff like Iron Man.
Hulk is undetermined.
What?
I think Hulk is undetermined.
Hulk can be whatever the story wants.
Yeah, honestly, it is. Yeah. So,
but like it'll be because this is a god tier level character. Yeah. Like this, I think I could confidently say that Captain Marvel could probably kick the ass of every hero. Yeah. Oh, yeah. As far as the Avengers,
like she 20 years too,
I think the only one that would maybe give her trouble is like the Hulk or Thor.
Thor, yeah. I think Thor.
Yeah, well, what was I trying to say? Unless somebody has plot armor and she like has to fight Black Widow or Captain America and all of a sudden she's like nerfed, but you know what plot armor is, right? Yeah, where a character basically is as strong as the plot needs them to be. So even if they're god tier character, the other character will somehow be able to match it. Yeah, that's pretty common. But all right, wow, this one ran super long.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we covered mostly everything.
Yeah, we kind of jumped towards the end, but like that has a lot of my favorite parts in it. So yeah, so after this, I want to try to do a pre-Avengers Endgame thing. So, not for us chronologically. We're going to be... So, there's going to be about a month between this and the next episode, theoretically. Mm-hmm. And then the one after is going to be after watching Endgame, almost immediately. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. Because I want to gather, like, a list for next time, like... Stan Lee cameos, like rating those, favorite movies, total least favorite movies of the franchise. I almost said series. It's not really a series. But yeah, I forgot how we end the show. This has been the MCU and me. This is the MCU and me podcast.
Rating.
Oh shit.
Out of 10, I give it a 6.
I give it an 8.
8? Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I give it an 8. Do you want to round it down to meet in the middle and go 7 for our official? Oh no!
Honestly, I would consider this like a rental. Yeah. Like, I would rent it.
I wouldn't rent a 6.
Yeah.
Would you rent The Incredible Hulk? That's what you gave that?
Oh. Well, no, I guess, I don't know. Like, if it's on TV, I'll watch it, but I wouldn't go out and see it again.
7.
I mean, I don't know. Look, I think there's just a lot of potential. Like there's definitely, it's definitely good that, there's a lot of groundwork,
I think it's a good standalone movie.
Yeah. But, like, I don't know. I do think still there wasn't anything too spectacular about it. Other than that, it's one of the rare movies where the third act is actually, like, I enjoyed it a lot. Usually that's the third act is the low point. But in this one, I don't know. I think it's just because it was really badass.
It ramped up.
Yeah, like seeing her fly and all that. I don't know. Something about that makes me feel like a kid. Because, like, she was...
I was thinking the exact same thing. When I saw that, I was like, God damn, I feel like a kid.
Yeah, she was like, spinning, punching the shit out.
It was like...
There was one point where
it was a little, like, CG... Like, it was like full CGI. It has to be that way. And it's hard to do a realistic, but it was so good.
But that helmet...
that was really faithful to the comics, apparently.
Yeah, no, it looks good, man. Like, I really like the way it looked.
It was kind of... I know we're trying to end this, but one thing I noticed... Okay, so she wears her helmet into space because she theoretically... Yeah. From that she cannot breathe, correct? Yeah. Like, if she wears her helmet in space, she cannot breathe in space. In the last part of the movie where she flies with the ship, she doesn't have it. She's like looking at Earth like...
Yeah, then she has the jackets. Yeah, well...
It doesn't show her breathing. Like, yeah, she does have the jacket.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay.
It doesn't...
which is fine.
That's what I thought, too.
It's fine. If she can breathe in space, cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
But... Why did she wear a helmet before?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it just makes it... Yeah,
I don't know. Then why does she not wear it now?
Dumb. 0...
Is it just because she looked down at Earth?
Dumb. 0 out of 10. Worst movie ever. Men do it better. Well,
okay, we're giving it. We're gonna even it out to a 7 out of 10. So we'll just average out our scores whenever they're.
No, it's about a 6.
That's what we've already been doing because this is the last movie. All right, cool. This has been the MCU and Me podcast, an extra long one, or unless the last few have been long too. I'm sure the Infinity War was pretty big. This is all forecasting. Cool. So this is the MCU and Me podcast. I'm Keaton with our 5th intro of the night. I'm joined here by Eric. Eric. Other than that, you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.